I'm Chris, I'm the Startup Mentor, and this is about fundraising. You see, understanding why someone might invest, instead of just assuming all investors are the same, will help you form a much better relationship with a person who will hopefully write a check in your project, startup, or company. Motivations as an owner are fairly simple. If you, as a founder, who I assume you are, you have a motivation to create a company ultimately for a specific professional reason. Now, you are going to try and convince yourself that the reason they're doing it is because they want to see change in the world, to be a disruptor. Let's be honest, that's often a sign of insecurity that they just don't know what to do with their lives. Like, I'm not criticizing, I've been there, I know what it's like. But when I'm talking about an owner's motivation, I try and understand why they want to become an owner in the first place. Sometimes I can just directly ask, hey, you want a piece of this company? Why? If you have a strong relationship, you can just ask. But most of the times, you can figure out their motivations just by looking at their past behavior. And I tend to bucket their behavior into one of three categories. The first, I call a venture motivation. A venture is simply any project or startup that aims to be successful when it's acquired. Venture capital invests in companies that want to be acquired. That explains quite simply why almost every VC will ask you at the very early stages, what's your exit strategy? Boring, business, boring. But it's important because that's their motivation. Venture capital invests in venture companies. An important byproduct is that it's not always about being the most profitable. It's about being the most important. You can create an incredible venture company without ever earning any revenue at all if you are the most important thing in that ecosystem of some kind. Instagram, a venture company, very little, if any, revenue, valued at over $1 billion because it was the most important lifestyle choice for sharing your life online using pictures. So, that's a venture company. The second type of owner motivation I call an equity motivation. An equity company aims to live for a very long time, to build something stable that essentially prints money. The byproduct of having an equity motivation means you want to try and create a stable business with a great business model that makes profit, and as an owner, I get what's called a dividend. As an owner, I take a share of the profit when it gets calculated. And so, shock, horror, everybody! Private equity invests in equity-motivated companies. Now, the last motivation is the one that often gets the worst rep, but I actually think is a really important mix in the investor ecosystem, and I call it the lifestyle investor. And this is essentially, I am motivated to be a co-owner in your thing because it enhances my lifestyle in a way that's important to me. That could be all kinds of things. For example, your startup has a network that I really want to be involved in some meaningful way. So I will invest, not only because I hope it will be a successful business and I'll get my money back, but I will become a co-owner of that company because it's going to enhance other parts of my life, which I think is worth investing in for. Now, brands do this a lot. Brand-based business will often invest in a young company because that young company gives them a position which they couldn't necessarily get themselves. It could also be, I invest in that company because they have a capability which is helpful to me. So that's the third critical owner motivation. Now, the reason this is so important to understand early, your motivation as a founder, and you don't make those intentions clear between you early, they're just gonna butt heads. And having an investor in your mix that doesn't share your motivation is a very dangerous thing further down the line. To recap, owner motivation is the reason or the professional reason I choose to become a co-owner of your young company. Owner motivation comes in three flavors from my experience. The first, the venture owner motivation. I want a piece of this thing because when it sells, it's going to be worth a lot of money. The second owner motivation is the equity motivation. I want to be a co-owner in this thing because over a long period of time, it's going to pay me back and then some. The third owner motivation is the lifestyle motivation, which is I want to become a co-owner of your young company because it enhances another piece of my professional, maybe even personal life, which I couldn't achieve easily without investing. I hope that helps. That's owner motivation.